Welcome back. Thanks for turning up this morning. You're here on an auspicious day. You've arrived at class on an auspicious day because yesterday we were discussing the Vitruvian Man interpretation as God's eye and saying, look, there's the observer, there's the mechanism of observation, and here's the recursive system of action. So we've got observer, we've got mechanism, and we've got action. Isn't that reality? Isn't that experience of life? And so I thought that was wonderful. I thought, wow. And you could see that I built the eye. Now, when I drew the eye, I've drawn it in the low energy state. And so you can see that the A and B pins, which are now back reassembled with the action of the lever arm placed back around them. So one A and B, or one is around the other. Which is which? This is the point, I believe. Which is which? Is A around B or is B around A? That's two circles, two concentric rings, ripples, literal ripples of force that just stay there, and that's called membrane potential. And those two ripples create the membrane potential of the muscles of your heart, the Z discs, and they have the potential to be in two states. So the Z discs, just to repeat, the Z discs of the muscles of the heart, the pericardial muscles, I think, from memory, have membrane potential, and there's an ECG, an electrocardiograph way of examining the action of these Z discs of the heartbeat. And so the heartbeat, I'm saying, is created by the rotation of the universe. And so it's important, if I'm wrong, that you can say, no, it's wrong. I definitely make my own heartbeat. I self-excite my own Z discs somehow, breaking the conservation of energy laws. So membrane potential has two states, platelet or sphere. And so the production of red blood cells will either be as platelets of iron or spheres of gold. Or, in between, you have silver and copper as the method of collapse comes down from perfect sphere. As civilization and knowledge collapses, you collapse down to iron platelets again. And so that's the mechanism that's what life does. It deflates, and at the evolutionary moment, when the planet kicks off, boom, they kick back to spheres. Now, the key here, because this is the evolution of consciousness, is to know this, lodge the information about who you are as an eternal source of light, just a sphere of light around you is who you are. You can't see it. Around you, a Vitruvian Man drawing, he shows a circle. Right? Around you is a circle. And that is the ether inside which we exist. Now, it all exists everywhere, but we have compressed the ether around us through our inflation, and it stays with us. It's our memory, it's our receiver. We're all walking around with great bubbles around us. And what you want is that bubble to be inflated, not to be deflated, not to be sitting on your skin, fluffed, plop, well, yeah, brushing against you like a cobweb against you. No, that's why you're feeling weird. It's because reality is actually reaching in and just touching you and saying, this is real, this is real. Okay? So now you know that's real. Now, love. Thanks. Thank you, God. Honor. Sexual, impeccable behaviour. And there was none at the moment. And you will puff that back out again to a sphere around you. And that the sacred geometry that I've drawn is the Freemason stuff. That's I just needed a square and a compass to draw that. And I used a ruler to check it. And I didn't draw it very carefully. My accuracy of intersections aren't brilliant. Doesn't matter. That's a sketch, right? It's showing that I could construct it if I had a decent set of tools. I could construct that perfectly. Sacred geometry, and that's you. And so there are two. There's the man with the base of water. See the pool of water at the bottom, the condensate. That's you. That separates you, your ether, from the planet. There's water there. Condensate, and that condensate is in you. It's in you. It's pulled into you from the bottom because of the vortices. Here there is a vortex in you. You pull up that water into you, into your light, into your heart, and you put it either into your sacral and use it to power your orgasm, men, or you pull it harder, men, into your hearts, and women at last can live and be proper creatures because they live through men. Right? If the men are cunts, they go mad. And they hate the world, and their bodies are in pain. Right? They just have to survive and fight as best they can to hold on to their empathy, so that men can learn empathy from the women and build the world of choice, of free will. Men, free will, choose that your women can have peaceful lives without those awful cycles pulling through their bodies every month. And we will share the pull of the universe, and I believe that it'll do something to our penises, men, and that I think this, in an alpha male system, those who have wisdom, who have gained the knowledge of the female, will get hard-ons. Those who have not will not. The only way they could get hard-ons is through corrupting their thoughts. Yeah, 24 palms making a man. And so we don't want that anymore. So I want you all, this knowledge of the sacred geometry that I sketched last night over 2 hours of really careful construction, and it's the line on the bottom that really makes all the difference. That line on the bottom is another circle ratio that was discovered by the dentist. In an article that I read online, when I looked for an image of the Vitruvian Man, I found this beautiful drawn thing where it showed the Star of David had already been drawn, the two triangles had already been drawn, and he'd drawn it with a gap at the bottom, and I thought, bloody hell, that looks perfect. I'll have that gap. And that's what I drew. And so, Secret of Life is out. The Masons are bested. Now you know. So it's been a brilliant day. I hope that was a great introduction to the course today. I'll try and do a bit more. I'll redraw it again into the eye, because you can see now it's one way up with the base when it's a man and it's life and it's real, and then when it's observed reality, it's that way up, so the pupil is sticking out of the side east-west axis. Yeah, there's eye opening. So that action. So now you have choice. And so now we can write a new film. So the director, God's the director, and he's got a new story for us. He's sending us the seeds via the 3i Atlas and all the comments that are coming. There's a seeding of the planets about to come. But if we haven't made the choice, by the time it turns up, to live as love, to listen to Christ, then it'll just smash into us, destroy the planet, whirlwind Earth, and it'll be like the Cambrian all over again, the flowering of life in the water that's created in the lens bowl. So it starts again, the planet will go flat, and it'll be a dish, and it'll just be all water with land around the edge, and then we'll slowly unfurl down to its final state. Now, the sphere, the poppy seed, right? And it's this way up. So go like that. Yeah, that way looks better, doesn't it? It'll unfurl like that, yeah, from the South Pole with the south, the Antarctica, the centre of the planet, and it'll all settle into a new pattern. Stable, so not back to the dish lens, not back to the sphere lens, no, back to a flat lens, and the concave lens, and I believe I've got that wrong on my drawing, it's the concave lens that matters. We want the convex lens. Okay? So concave represents the 3 pies all going the same way, 2 pies, sorry, all going the same way, the real and the natural, leaving a straight line across the middle of a relaxed surface of water at pi elastic ratio. Yeah. But you can have the bending on the inside to create a convex lens to protect. And so now there's a balanced force on that. So if you've got both forces on the same side of the water, when it's an eye here, you've got the 2, real and natural, pulling together, forming that bowspring, and there's a tension between them. Or you can have the natural on one side and the bending on the other, creating the lazy arc. And so the powerful spring arc is the one where natural and real are both on the same side, and that sucks in pi elastic, making it bigger, sucks it in towards pi real. Yeah. So it sits, it'll become closer to pi value of pi elastic, Archimedean pi, the irrational one, will come closer to the value of pi real in our calculations when we're actually working and building things. When we have our meter standard back again, thanks very much, physics, 1983. A naked move of stupidity that we didn't notice because you'd made us stupid. Now we notice. So let's go. Let's begin. See you in a bit. Let's say half an hour.